the one, the only Jordan Cornette. Woo!
Oh,
You can check him out on the ACC network. He's doing work today, by the way.
Good to have you, my man.
Even if you're just watching the ACC network and you're thinking, what's that sensual voice that I hear giving me updates? That's Jordan Cornette, and he joins us right now. Jordan, first and foremost, when's the last time somebody called your voice sensual?
It's been a while. My wife doesn't give me any compliments, Fitzy, as you and Harry well know, so I appreciate any love I can get. My love language is it positive affirmation, reaffirmation, whatever it is. That's the way to my heart, my friend, so I appreciate it.
And speaking of your amazing, wonderful, talented wife, she also works with us. I'm going to be doing a Monday Night Football show with her.
Plug.
Do you want to get, that was a shameless plug, Monday Night Tailgate, going to be coming back this year. Do you have any, is there any ammunition I can, is there something I can say that will really tick her off?
I'm going to give you some advice, Fitzy. Mm-hmm. Don't talk, just listen.
That's
and when
fair.
she makes a point, you're absolutely right.
So let's get to Notre Dame. Obviously, I was with you. Shameless, peel back the fourth wall. I was with you in the room as North Dakota, as Notre Dame was trying to figure out a way to beat Toledo. And it was stressful. So now that you've had a minute to let it digest, what's your takeaway from this game?
This Notre Dame team, it was been playing down to the competition, you could argue, maybe. But I think that's a bailout. This Notre Dame team's been reckless with the football. 3 turnovers in this game that ultimately cost them. They gave up some big plays to a lesser MAC opponent in Toledo. I guess they're learning to win close ones. Jack Cohn continues, to show real grit. I mean, this is a guy that came out of Florida State and threw that thing all over the yard, was a big-time playmaker, showed he's more than a game manager. And then in this one, looked like he dislocated a finger on his throwing hand in that final drive. And they say don't give Tom Brady 90 seconds. Maybe don't give Jack Cohn 90 seconds in a game. He looked really comfortable there. This defense needs to be better. Their offensive line is a work in progress. Jack Cohn's still trying to discover who his targets are. But turnovers, clearly the miscue in this one a few times over.
Jordan is lightly throwing me under the bus, by the way, because I said, you can't give Jack Cohn that amount of time, and then it turned out to work out, Harry.
So Jordan, when you look at the ACC, you look at how they struggled last week. Who can help this conference? Who can help this conference recover when you look down the line?
Harry, it's still Clemson. I mean, they're still the gold standard, and DJ Uyunglele, Big Cinco, number 5, whatever you want to call him, QB1, he still hasn't looked the part with all these massive expectations on him. He was missing targets, didn't look very accurate week 1, and clearly in that matchup versus Georgia, one of the best defenses, he looks skittish at times. Him finding his comfort level, turning into the star we saw in those 2 starts a season ago is pivotal to the operation there. But there's some oscillatory teams that got a shot here. NC State is a team that has got a real tough battle in front of them going on right now in Stark Vegas. Mike Golick Jr. on the call, another shout out, a plug if you will, friend of the family here on the digital side of things. But NC State needs to take care of business there. Virginia Tech, after what they did against North Carolina, I think those are the 3 teams you look at early on. North Carolina, it's going to be an uphill climb for them. But there's still good football in this conference, and it absolutely starts with Clemson.
Who's surprised you the most so far?
Virginia Tech. It has to be Virginia Tech just because it felt like people were talking about this program like it was in ruin, and that's clearly not the case. Coach Fuente is more than capable coach. He showed it in his first season a few years back when they won 10 games. The identity at Virginia Tech and Blacksburg, it's always got to be defense, and they've showed the ability to defend. As a matter of fact, they've led the way defensively. Braxton Burmeister has been refreshing for this team, an absolute playmaker. So within the conference, I'd have to look at Virginia Tech, who's now sitting 2-0, does have Notre Dame on the schedule, and a real opportunity there to make some noise. And again, going back to NC State, another team that has a chance to make some noise with Clemson on the schedule, and they're playing host to them. So there's an opportunity within this conference that for some reason, Harry and Fitzy, everybody gave up on in week 1, was still a lot of meaningful football and can really have heavy implications in the CFP.
Now, Jordan, I'll tell you, I am very high on this NC State team. I'm high on Dave Dern. I'm high offensively. They have a 2-back system. They have the receivers. They have the QB, Devin Leary. They have the guys on defense. What has surprised you with this NC State team so far this year?
The fact that nobody seems to be talking about this, I think it's not a surprise of what the team is, but the surprise of how they've been covered. This is second most talented roster in the ACC, and they don't get that coverage. And Harry, I'm glad you mentioned those running backs. Ricky Person and Bam Knight, that backfield is dynamic, dangerous, and we talked about North Carolina and celebrated that back duo a year ago. this could be that version this season there in Raleigh with NC State. And they got a nickname for the two, and that's what I love. They're calling themselves Craig and Day from Friday, if y'all remember. And I love top flight security of the world, Craig. So these guys know they have something bottled special, but they're keeping their head down and working. Great balance on both sides. Defensively, Peyton Wilson might be the defensive player of the year in the conference. So they've got skill and high-level talent at all the meaningful positions, and they've got a coach who's got them focused on the task at hand and not paying attention to the outside noise, because it was a historic year for the NC State a year ago, notching 7 conference wins, most in program history, had 8 wins on the season, but they're hungry for more, and this might be the year where they achieve that.
Jordan, as always, my friend, you are the best. Nobody happier about the NC State love than Scotty McCreery. Big fan. All right, Jordan, have a great time. Enjoy the ACC network, brother.
Scotty McCreery is my guy. Have you heard his new song, Giving Love to North Carolina?
Yeah.
You got to hear that one.
I'm all into this.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.